Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. Somebody tell Teofimo Lopez he is not no damn two-time undisputed. He's not even a one-time undisputed. I think Teofimo Lopez has gone a little bit cuckoo, man. And I'm personally getting tired of hearing him talk about, excuse me, him being the undisputed champion and the first two-time undisputed, and how he became undisputed before Canelo, and how, yeah, Terrence Crawford, good job, but, excuse me, but I'm the real deal. Now, I understand Teofimo Lopez, riding on a high, man, back when he was, 23 years old or something, man, when he fought Lomachenko. Got a huge win. Excuse me. Looked spectacular, man, in that fight. Even when Lomachenko tried to pick it up, Lopez found a way to push back and didn't allow Lomachenko to really steal those late rounds the way Lomachenko was trying to. But some people would say that, hey, that made him the undisputed lightweight champion. But, there are other people who are going to sit back and tell you, look, I don't think that qualified as him being undisputed at 135. And the reason is, look, if you're watching this video, you probably already know all this, but the whole thing with the dispute with Haney, and who was the actual WBC title holder at lightweight, and then, Lopez held the franchise title with his win over Lomachenko, who was not the WBC titleist, right? So for that reason right there, I mean, it's the WBC's fault for having these weird-ass belts, but Teofimo wasn't undisputed, right? He did have a WBC belt, but he wasn't undisputed. It's so stupid. But then, he comes back, you know what I'm saying? And he ends up going up to 140, beats Josh Taylor, who was the guy that had never been beaten, who was undisputed. And somehow in his mind, and even Roy Jones said, he's the man who beat the man who beat the man, so that makes him undisputed. How does that make him undisputed? If that's the case, then Tyson Fury's undisputed, right? Tyson Fury is the lineal champion. He's held all the belts. And now he has the WBC, but he's held all the belts in the heavyweight division, right? He's held them all. So then that means Tyson Fury is the heavyweight champion, the undisputed. See, it doesn't make any goddamn sense. For me, it's frustrating. And Teofimo Lopez, instead of him sitting back and accepting his reality, he seems to have just kind of gone left. Like this whole thing about legacy and champion and undisputed and being the first to do something and the first this and that. Look, man, he doesn't qualify. Now, if we really break all this down, when they talk about that whole WBC belt drama between him and Devin Haney and the franchise and all that, Mikey Garcia had won that belt in 2017. He fought some guy, I think his name was like Zlatan or something. Anyway, after Garcia won the belt, he had 2 fights at 140 pounds, but he was never stripped by the WBC because the WBC, they look out for certain fighters. Anyway, he has his couple of fights at 140 to make a little bit of dough. Came back down in weight and unified the IBF title in July 2018 by beating Robert Easter Jr. Then he jumped up to welterweight, okay? But what ended up happening is Garcia vacated the WBC lightweight title in 2019. Now, despite the fact that, there were some guys who held titles from other sanctioning bodies and weren't ranked by the WBC, right? Top Rank managed to get Lomachenko, who already held the WBA and WBO titles, secret society in full effect, a vacant WBC title fight with Luke Campbell. Then Lomachenko, of course, he clipped Campbell in August of 2019 to unify briefly those three belts: the WBO, WBA, and the WBC. Now, this is where the drama starts. Not even 2 months later, Lomachenko gave up the WBC belt. He just willingly gave it up so that he could be moved into the WBC's newly created franchise champion designation, which is just, to me, corny. And matter of fact, to point something out, to this date, they've only done for Canelo Alvarez at 160 and Lomachenko at 135. Makes you wonder how come they're only making these franchise champion designations for Canelo and how they did it before for Lomachenko. But the franchise tag, what it means essentially is that the champion has no mandatory obligations. And a lot of fighters frown upon that. They don't want to be a franchise champion for any sanctioned body. But the belt can't be won or lost in the ring. Except then the WBC ended up changing their mind about that whole last part about being won or lost in the ring. They ended up saying no, it can be lost in the ring, where they ended up sanctioning Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez with the WBC franchise belt at stake, which isn't even a real belt. Now, I don't know why they did that. Maybe it has something to do with them being envious of the WBA, WBO, and IBF all getting some money out the fight when they would not. You see, this all boils down to money. It all boils down to money. And that's why, see, the WBA, WBO, and IBF, there was no franchise belts on the line. That was the no-kidding titles. This shit the WBC created, they just created something out thin air. It wasn't the real title. And that's what ended up getting put on the line, and that's why Teofimo, even though he knows it's not a true belt, that's why he is running with this thing about he was undisputed. Anyway, at that time, Haney was, promoted from the interim WBC champion to full champion status. Okay? And if you don't remember, Haney ended up clipping somebody named, I think, Abduliev, and that's how he won the interim status. And then 2 weeks later, 2 weeks after Lomachenko beat Campbell, is when that happened. But it's frustrating because you come to where we are now, and you take a look at Teofimo. He fights this guy Josh Taylor, and now although he didn't. My thing is, he has no belts except the WBO. That doesn't make you undisputed. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter who he beat. Josh Taylor didn't have any belts. I think that WBO, he didn't have all those belts. And I understand what they did to Josh Taylor was kind of foul. But at the end of the day, Teofimo, he's not even really a one-time undisputed. He definitely ain't a two-time undisputed. And he's sitting there, man, and it's like he's convinced himself that he should go down in history as the first two-time. And then if you listen to Teofimo, he's saying the reason why no one wants to give him the credit is because he's Latino. Now, that's where you got to tell him, hold your horses and stop taking it to the stupid. So, I don't know what he's going to be talking about after he fights Jermaine Ortiz, but this is ridiculous because if you ask Teofimo, he's undisputed. He's the undisputed champion at 140. If you ask Teofimo, he'll tell you he's the undisputed champion at 140. Absolutely ridiculous. That being said, what this highlights is what I've been talking about with the secret society, doing what they want. And when it comes to these guys who have belts and not defending them, secret society is going to do what they have to make sure that they're getting some kind of money off of those belts. Tyson Fury is a unique case. Canelo Alvarez is a unique case because when they fight, the sanctioning bodies make so much money that they don't really stress too much over these guys defending the belts 2-3 times a year. But these other guys who don't generate the kind of money like a Tyson Fury, like a Canelo Alvarez, sanctioning bodies need those belts defended as often as possible. And that's why you see where Mauricio Suleiman said, well, hold on, we got an opportunity here to make some money. So with this franchise belt, we'll go ahead and say, hey, it's on the line. He can lose it. When before, you couldn't win it or lose it. You just kind of be appointed. So it's all drama. It's all messed up. It's all confusing. And it's unfortunate that the boxers are the ones who end up, getting the target put on them. And have a guy like me create a video and just say, hey, look, someone tell these guys they're not undisputed. And it sucks. And that's what's good about the direction boxing is going with the Saudis being involved, because it looks like they can try to clean up some of this mess, but at the same time, they may clean up a little mess here, but they're creating another dirt pile over here by coming up with the undisputed champion belt. There's a Saudi belt that Fury won from Ngannou. Like there's going to be all kind of craziness going on over the next couple of years. The good thing is fighters are getting paid, but for us as fans, you sit back and watch it, you're like, this is complete madness. What's going on? I mean, damn. And these fighters, right? If I'm going to Saudi and I'm fighting, I don't mind some BS belt they create, because I'm getting paid in one fight more money than it would have taken me to make over 10, 11 fights in the United States. So if they want to take a little pound of flesh out of me, okay, cool, whatever. I'm still much better off than I would have been in 10, 11 fights in the States. But if I'm fighting in the States, then I'm going to be a little frustrated, because, like, goddamn, man, y'all going to take a percentage of my fight purse for this belt. And that's why when it comes to Gervonta Davis, I don't fault him. Yeah, he can fight these champions. I think he beats them, but he ain't going to want the belt. Mayweather has it right. Why we have to pay the sanctioning bodies? Why do we have to pay you to be a champion? We earned that, but we got to pay you. I don't know. Not everybody's going to agree. Some people look at what the sanctioning bodies do, the roles they serve, and they'll make a good argument on why sanctioning bodies deserve to get a percentage of a fighter purse for fighters winning their belts. Other people will argue, so if the belts go away and guys just keep fighting, boxing continues, right? I don't know. But what I will say is, somebody needs to tell Teofimo he isn't the first 2-time undisputed nothing. Period. Could he have been? Yeah, because when he fought Lomachenko, if Lomachenko still had the WBC strap, he would have become the undisputed. If Josh Taylor would have had all those straps, Teofimo would have become undisputed. But that's not what happened. So he's no undisputed anything. And it's not really his fault. It's just the politics of boxing. That being said, y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.